the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 328 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right. We're calling this one Defending the Crown for very obvious reasons, as we try to make history as only the third club to ever win back-to-back championships. This time on the road, this time with a bit more challenges in front of us. But it's on as we take over the city of Columbus and fly in from every airport possible to fill it all up and make it all crazy. It's on. It's real. Probably our most massive away day we'll ever have. Let's get into this. This is going to be fun today. Of course, we've got Bam and we've got Tony on today. Bam, how are you doing?
Doing all right. New job, so very tired. Been up since 6 a.m. Well, I started work at 6 a.m., so it goes up at like 4:30. But excited to hopefully go back to back. You know, just making the back-to-back MLS Cups is hard. Let's go and get this double.
There it is. Exactly. Come at it. It's a football. Let's get it done. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Just, excited. Like Bam said, going back to back is a very rare occasion. Going back to back finals, winning back to back is also a rare occasion as well. And I'm just trying to enjoy the moment because you never know when we might not be alive for this or be here to experience this again.
Exactly. Things can change in an instant, and what you're used to can no longer be. So you got to make the most of it at the end of the day. This is an away day that is like no other. It is a championship match. Treat it like it's going to be the last away day for a while. You have to. This is what we're doing, and we're going to make it proper. Let's go nuts. Of course, we're going to talk about the Houston match and what it took to get into the final, which turned out to be a really interesting affair. We will talk about who's standing out for Columbus, get some community news in for you as well, get some info, of course, about the trip, and, of course, hear from the faithful. So let's do this. Let's jump right into the last match, of course. That's right. Houston recap. All right. So over the weekend, we played Houston, a team that had swept us in the season series, embarrassed us at one point this year in the summer when we were in our doldrums. Guess what? That wasn't the story. Of course, looking into the lineup and see who we're going to have available. No shock to anyone here. We pretty much went like for like from the Vancouver series. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's what we went with. We had Crapo. We had Chiellini and Murillo in the back. We had Hollingshead and Palacios as your outside backs. We had Tillman, Sanchez, Acosta, Vela up front, Overa, and Bowanga doing the job. Roles would change, and we'll talk about that. Of course, on the Houston side, they didn't shock anybody either about their approach to this game. They had Clark in goal with a really bad haircut. Mikhail and Sviatchenko on the back line. Dorsey and Escobar. Yeah, that Escobar. On the outside backs, Artur and Herrera. Boy, that dude had a day. And Bossi in your midfield with Carrasquilla and Quinones playing outside mid. That was the story. And, of course, target man for the time, former LAFC player, Corey Baird. So that's who they had in the lineup. Now, how did things kick off? How did things get approached? That is the real story here, and I'm going to throw this over to Tony. Let's get those highlights and lowlights, man.
Pretty much the highlights is we, as Hollingshead said, here's the ball, try to beat us is the best way to say it, because we literally gave them possession, try to do the ticky-tacky, and they couldn't do anything. We're more, I guess, not talented, but more versatile. We have the players to stop any attack that they can do. So we literally tell them, here's the ball, attack us. And if you can, we'll just counter you really quickly. And that's what we pretty much did the whole game. Is like there was opportunities where Vela had 2 goals taken away because of offsides. One could have been a red card and could have seen Clark gone from this game because he was the last defender. Very Max-esque, but they could have been down a player early. There was another goal that was offsides. Beat the defender, beat Clark, and it just tiptoed in. Oliveira had a couple shots that just couldn't put away. And it wasn't until the 44th minute on a corner from Vela. Cross in, Chiellini heads it right into goal. Clark saves it with a good save. And Mr. Opportunist, Mr. Always There, Mr. Number 9, Ryan Hollinshead puts it in, and puts us ahead 1-0 up into the first half.
Third in scoring on the season, firmly holding on to it once again. Ryan Hollingshead getting the job done. Man, it's just beautiful to see what he's done with his career since coming to us, and how he's changed and has the trust of the staff to move the way he does. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Bam, your impressions of the first half, the approach?
The approach was, how do I say it? Was interesting. We put out our best lineup. They put out their best lineup. Mr. Offside, Carlos Vela, needs to check his runs a lot more. That's definitely for sure. The amount of times he was offside during that first half was ridiculous. Max saving us in the back. You know, how it wasn't 3-3 at halftime, I don't know. But, you know, our number 7 all-time goal scorer, Ryan Hollingshead, pops up and does what he does. You know, when you look at Ryan Hollingshead, for example, when he was at FC Dallas, played 222 games, scored 20 goals.
Yeah.
At LAFC, he's played 84 games, got 15.
The trust of your staff, right? The trust of the coaching staff, knowing who he is as a player, what he's given, knowing that he was a forward at one point in his life and transitioned back to become a professional. That stuff comes back. If it's in you, it's in you, right? If you're a striker, a natural striker, it's going to come back for you. And he's a
100%.
grinder, which is fun. Nicest grinder I've ever met, I got to be honest. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at
Special.
our all-time goal scorers, he's 7th overall. Only the top 10 has double figures.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And he's the only defender, right? I mean, the rest are just wingers and strikers.
Yeah. Well, if we go down 10th place overall, Opoku with 13. 9th is Moose with 13. 8th is Sifu with 15. 7th is Hollingshead with 15. 6th is Latif at 18. 24th is Dio in 5th with 24 goals. Then you got Chicho with 35 goals in 4th place. Bolonga with 40 goals in 3rd place. 2nd place is he scored our first goal ever, Diego Rossi, against the Sounders with 59. And Vela's up the top with 93 all time.
Amazing. Legends, man. Legends. That's for sure. Once again, in the big games, doing what they have to do. I would say this with Vela being offside all the time, his role changed this time. Something he's not quite familiar with. He's not the guy that's going to lead the line for breakaways. Like that's not the Vela of these days. So I get it. Or the timing could be a little bit off because they were trying to flip the script on Houston. It did work though, right? I mean, if the runs would have been better, it would have really worked. But it did work in the fact that they were crossed up on the back. It did prevent them from doing some things that they like to do and took the freedom away from some of their outside backs. Say Escobar, right? He wasn't quite what he's used to. His performance was a little bit different. And we'll explain more about that in the second half, but it did cross them up. It made it difficult. Yes, there were chances for both sides. Yes, it was a little bit wild. I think the bigger story, of course, was us allowing them to take the game to us pretty much, right? And let us do and pretty much hold possession until they became a threat. And then we'd say, okay, that's enough and get that cleaned up. That was pretty impressive from our side. A very different look, but this playoff season, that has been the look. That has been what works. And you got to wonder if getting stung so much this year, right, in certain matches where we tried to dictate in those matches and it backfired on us, and then we were playing on the back foot for the rest of it, went, hey, you know what? Just go pragmatic rather than dogmatic. We know what we can do. Let's just focus on the results, keep it simple, and go from there. And that's where we're at. And again, you got to credit the staff for looking at the game that way and approaching it that way. It's a big change for the organization to accept what we're doing now because you wouldn't have seen this a year ago. No way. No way. And give him credit. It's got us to a final so far. We'll see if it carries us for one more game, right? All right, let's get to that second half, Tony, because that one got real interesting.
Oh, it got super interesting because it was like, again, down 1-0 for Houston. They still were in this game and they could bring it back. Again, they had one of the best midfields in the MLS, unfortunately. And, they've won, like, at the end of the day, they've won the US Open Cup. They're coming back from that. So this is a little bit more gravy. But we still came after them, like, in this, like, not even a minute into the game. Bouanga tries to shoot a shot from the right foot, misses. Couple attempt saves from Bouanga in the 55th. A lot of fouls and chippiness throughout the whole game. You saw Escobar and what his fire is. Again, talking to the refs, could have gotten a red there because of that little confrontation, but didn't.
Herrera, right?
No, and
Herrera.
Escobar.
They all got into it, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like, both of them were going into it, and then not until the 80th minute, a cross by Palacios, finally going up and torching that left side, gets it in, and an own goal by none other than Franco Escobar puts it in, and you can tell after that it was over. You could see it in Escobar's face, and he knew he just gave the game away. And it was just up to us to close it out. And not gonna lie, there was a couple of scary moments with another 8 minutes of extra time. Let's just say that. And us all counting closely. I was checking with people, I'm like, how many minutes this and stuff like that. Whoever I could was taking time, and end up winning the game 2-0. Western Conference champions back to back, and we go on to Columbus. Yeah. See if we can be the first team in a couple of years to be back-to-back champions and move forward and see if we can win away, because that's going to be another stat for this season that people may have forgotten about.
Being on grass kind of helps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that helps a little bit. So I'll say that we're not playing on a freaking carpet, so it gives us a fighting chance. We'll get into the game in a little bit. I will say this for Escobar. I feel bad for the guy. I mean, honestly, I do. He is one of our formers. He is wearing a ring, right? He is one of our guys, former. He didn't want to leave us. He had to leave us because of the cap stuff and the bonuses. You know what it meant to him. So they seem to go down that way. It's a rough take, man. It is. Won't say it's the first time I was euphoric after an Escobar scored an own goal, but that's a different story altogether. A long time ago. Yeah, to me, the game overall had to be chippy. We knew it was going to be chippy, and it's the best thing for us to be that way. We're pretty good at the dark arts these days. We finally found an edge, and it's actually looking good on us right now. We seem to be smarter than the others at times when it comes to this, where we used to be bullied. We've learned a lot. Again, it's been 3 seasons in one, and you can tell. And the one thing we're really good at, domestic competition. So that's nice to see. And that month off, as much as we complained about that big span off between one round to the next, turned out to be the greatest thing to ever happen to LAFC, as all of the injuries that have been nagging through the year, they all got a rest. They all got a chance to breathe. And now you see what we're doing. It helped us. It ultimately helped us. Bam, thoughts on the game?
Thoughts on it, especially the second half. You can take the boy out of LAFC. You can't take LAFC out of the boy. It was for having a former player score an own goal. Like as you said, it feels bad for him, but
dude,
he's still back in gold. So, but overall, chippy game. We expect it to be chippy. We expect it to be how it is. After the first half, should have been 3-3. How it wasn't more goals in the second half, let alone when they were pushing hard for an equalizer before the own goal. They were pushing really hard. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, the final's going to be ridiculous, and with that Western Conference final going back to back, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was also a certain person's last time with doing Ollie on the field?
Yeah, so I pointed out Ken, and he acknowledged it when he went past. That was his last. His son will be taking over next year. I'm just happy he got one more run. Like beautiful. We got one more with him. And it was nice. It was funny. Usually he'll go off the field right after he's done. He made a right turn and kind of gave everybody the fist bumps that he knew, right? And then came
Yep.
off the field. Like he had to get his last little bit in, and own it, which he should have. We love you, Ken, man. We better not be a stranger after this is all said and done. But he's got to go take care of some things, and his son is so ready for this. It's going to be, again, the performance will still be top notch, guys. There's no question about this. This family, they're amazing. And just Ken gets what he's going to take care of things he needs to take care of, and we're happy that he is, because he really needs to. He needs the rest, guys. That's for sure, for sure. So, game went well. Did what we needed to do. Got another shutout. That is freaking amazing. Bend don't break once again. And I'll throw it to you, Tony. Your impressions of the match overall.
Overall, it was another strategy of, again, kind of Seattle-esque, trying to change up tactics. Again, we are a counter team. We like to push, but we decided to now pressure them. Like, here's the ball, but you have to beat all our, top pressure, our back pressure. You have to, get by Chiellini, Murillo, Hollingshead, who was doing a phenomenal job on the right-hand side. Yes, the goal was a cherry on the Sunday, best way to say it. But at the end of the day, it was a very, tactically wise, very good, exciting as well. So it wasn't boring, but moving forward, it's as much as I didn't want Columbus, and we discussed this a couple times.
Yeah, I know.
This is what we have to. This is the team that we have to face, and hopefully Dolo has the right tactics to counteract them. And also, we do know two of those players up front, so we can probably manage them.
I'll just say this: the longest winning streak Columbus has had all year has been 3. We'll talk about how good they are, because they are, but there are holes, man, that we can take advantage of. And the team that we just beat them. Okay. I felt Houston was stronger than the team we're going to play in the final, but we'll talk about that. Not offensively, but organization and all that we'll cover. I will say this is kind of cool. We didn't even get to 30% possession, but somehow, some way, we were 18-10 on shots, 6-5 on goal. The counter to perfection, right? It looks stressful as hell, but man, when you let it rip, it's gorgeous. Now, how many more shots would he had on goal if the offsides didn't happen? The crossbar goes in instead. Again, it was what we needed to do. We were also smart. After all that dirty play, we got 0 yellow cards, no suspensions. Everyone moves on to the next round. Everybody appears to be healthy. Again, if you're going to win a semifinal, that's the way to do it. The other side, overtime. That takes its toll too. We didn't have to deal with that. Perfection. I mean, I think ultimately that is the story. Man of the match work. I mean, if you really want to throw it out there, I would say, of course, Max, and I'd give it to Chiellini, because the leadership is there and it was perfect. Bam, your thoughts on who the man of the match was for you?
For me, man of the match, you'd have to give it to Max or Chiellini, but at the same time, Bogus coming off the bench, didn't miss a beat, knew exactly what to do. You also had Bouanga, who was getting triple teamed at all times, so he was being able to draw players away. So, everyone had their role, did the role amazingly, and this is the game where it's hard to have that man of the match, because everyone did what they had to do.
Team effort. Yeah, I mean, a good point on Bogus. I remember when that move happened and Vela came out of the game, everybody's like, how are you going to take out Vela? And it was nearly instant. Bogus on the field, we come back, they score an own goal. Like, I guess it worked, right, guys? The change went to perfection, and a bunch of the guys on the field were pointing at Bogusz right after the goal, which I thought was pretty funny as well. Like, good luck charm, like, good stuff, man. Good start of the play because he did initially let that one rip. So, yeah, good stuff. That's for sure. I'll go to you, Tony. Your man of the match.
Max is, of course, the man of the match. He stopped as much as is not much flair to it, but he stopped a lot of potential goals that could have gone in. Hollingshead was my other person who could have done that because he really did shut down the right side. Anyone that came in there, he really commanded that side, and Palacios as well. Chiellini, of course, General as well. I would,
Possibly playing his last game for us.
I was gonna say that it's like him and Bella most likely maybe the last game at home. And I'm glad that we could send them out as champions for the Western Conference in the final home game. Not gonna lie, I was nervous at the beginning of the game. So yeah, that's it, and we move on.
Yeah, I mean, potentially if if we do win the whole thing again, I don't think we're gonna be able to pay the the bonuses this time around. It's gonna be tough, man. Could be more. Could be more. But hey, the cost of success. You do what you got to do. All right, let's throw this over to the supporters. There's about 25 comments. We will do our best to get you guys. I like it. It's good. Comments are amazing. As we always say, join the conversation. Always welcomed. Here we go. Some things we can say a lot about, some things we can't. We'll just leave it at that. Vamos Black and Gold from its Jibble. Dave Gomez counting down. It's getting closer to the final start time. I know Tony was packing bags and I was preparing things as well as our flights leave very soon. Red eye on a Thursday. Tony, when are you heading out?
In the morning, 5 a.m. on Friday.
I got a 5-hour head start on you.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
There we go. There we go. Let's see. Roberto Espinoza says, I have to work during the final, but maybe I can have an emergency and catch the game. Find a way. Find a way.
AirPods, whatever wireless device you can connect to, and just have the game playing around. So almost radio-esque, so you can kind of walk it back and forth.
Apple TV Plus can fit in the corner. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's done. Pablo Morales, good seeing you last night, sir, on the Super Pod. It's go time. Exactly. It's go time. Mendo says, what's up, y'all? Good seeing you on here, Mendo. Smalls with the fire. Love it. Love the fire. Love the fire. Daniel says, run it back. Yeah, that's the tagline that they were going with this year is run it back. Yeah, logo looks a little weird, but it's cool. We'll run it back. Luis Amoroya says, let's go black and gold. Let's get the second star above our crest back to back. Yeah, let's make it really hard on the jersey makers who have already pretty much made our new design and now have to fit, maybe, if we pull it off. Have to take everything back again and delay things. That would be fun to do. Yes. Daniel Angel says NPNP. There you go. Roberto Espinoza says, if Vela and Olvera start scoring, I think we are deadly. I think we're gonna be deadly. I think it's again a crazy game. We're walking into a wild one, guys. I'll just tell you that. And we'll cover that. Mendo says, for all the crying at LAFC, it looked like Houston got away with several yellow cards. Escobar and Herrera for screaming at the ref. I mean, dude, they made contact with the ref. That's the biggest no-no ever. I don't know how pros not up in arms about this. I don't get it. Yeah, way over the top. But we kind of expected the passion to come out in this game. Anthony wants our thoughts on MLS suspending the 32-52. All I can tell you, especially on Tony and my angle, not even angle, just reality is it's an active investigation. We can't really give too much into it because it is an active investigation. At this time, as much as it hurts, we're going to focus on Sunday or Saturday. And I will say this, we don't know what tomorrow brings. So do everything you can on Saturday to give everything you possibly have, because that could be our last away day for a long time. We don't know what's coming next. So if you have the opportunity, take it. Do what you can, support your team, and let's go celebrate a freaking championship this weekend. And that's it. It's about the football this weekend. And we don't need all the toys to sing. We have our voices, and you can't take that away ever. So we sing. That's what we do. We're supporters. The team needs it. You heard what Acosta said in his own preview before he hit the plane. Make it home for him. Make it home for the boys. And that's all you got to worry about this weekend. Whatever happens after that, happens after that. Soccer USA says, I'm not even going to go there. I'll let you guys say it and throw it up there. That's fine. Dave says, yeah, see you there. I'll let the comments run. Mark Lopez. Yep. You guys can read it right there. Lewis. Yep. There you go. No love for the restrictions. That's okay. Freedom of speech, guys, right? Say whatever you please, man. It's free country. And you see the same stuff on Twitter. So or X, whatever he wants to call it this week. So, all right. Back to Burke and the football. Have fun with it, guys. It's okay. It's okay, man. It's an open wound, man. Trust me, putting decades into the culture. Yeah, man, it hurts. That's for sure. Burke says, great win on Saturday, but watching Vela walk off the field hit me hard. He's made the comments he wants to come back. He did. He said it. I don't know what that's going to do, but I do know if I'm in his position, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm going to go party with the supporters. And I give him full credit. He could have walked out the field like he does all the time. Instead, he enjoyed every little bit of it, including the family. It was right from him. It was the right moment for all of us. Credit him for that. That's what we wanted to see, and that's a proper way to send him off to the final. I'll say that. Not send him off, but send him off to the final. Mendo says, although Bogus not starting the last few games, he does seem to miss a beat coming on as a he doesn't seem to miss a beat. He doesn't. Bogus is class, man. He could be just fine going as the starter. What we have is a battle to start. We have the players capable, but yes, Bogus off the bench has been absolutely stunning for us. It has. It's good. Don't be surprised if it happens again on Saturday. Daniel Hill says, people complain about Dola and his excuses. Now is the time of supporters to maximize what we do regards to restrictions. No excuse. Exactly. You have your voice. You have your passion. Don't lose your passion. Why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we here? Simple. It's about the football. It's about the boys. Get them where they need to go. Burke says, well, supposedly we play on carpet that has concerts on it 3 times a week. That was hilarious. Did you guys see the comments from Ben Olsen from Houston complaining that there's 3 concerts a week and that affected their play and their touch?
It didn't seem to affect the play when they beat us last time here.
The ball rolled smoothly into the net off Escobar, by the way. I didn't see any divots preventing it going in. It seemed pretty level. Pretty level. The ball moved well on that side, where all the concerts happen. And our goal from open play didn't happen on a side that has concerts. That corner had no effect because there's no concerts on that side. So stick it, Ben. That's all I'm going to say. Dave Gomez says Dola had a solid game plan in the last match. No, it was proper. In the playoffs. Let's be real. I don't want to jinx it, but the record looks good right now for him in the playoffs. Right, guys? Right. Sakura say Dola has LAC controlling the game without controlling the ball. It's crazy. Dola playing chess in MLS. Again, knowing what we have and what we're capable of, it's smart. It's smart football. We've got a lot of miles on these legs this year. It makes sense. D Vela as a well-rested LAC is scary. Barry Robinson says, good having you on here, Barry. It says Vela walking off hit hard. His signing was the catalyst for me pulling the trigger on season tickets at the inaugural season and every season since. What a legend. I remember when they unveiled him at the California Science Center in front of the space shuttle, going to that event and seeing what he was willing to do to get this thing off the ground to having it now where he's got a ring. He wants more, and he's inspired to stay. We'll see if it happens. Let's pray it does. Menno says, would you guys happen to know where to get those 200 section seats? Dude, the ticket fiasco in Columbus is special. I've never seen a team botch things as badly as what I'm seeing in this. I don't know how the tickets are happening. I know I've paid. I don't have my ticket in hand yet, right? I know a lot of supporters for the crew are man, they're in pain, dude. Like their drummers, they're missing a lot of people because of the way the tickets broke out. It's jacked up. It is. It really is. It lets you know how blessed you are being an LAFC supporter as opposed to from somewhere else. Yeah, it's tough. Luis Amoroa says, I believe Keeling and his experience have been positive in the last 2 games when playing away from the ball. Backline seems comfortable and secure. Yeah, I don't see panic ball. I don't from these guys. And it is kind of fun seeing Chiellini like generate yellow cards for the other side, just being smart. And kind of suckering guys. I know I was joking with one of our supporters as the players were marching out. He was kind of hugging and slapping the back on one of the Houston players. And I said, well, he's found his next victim, right? Kills him with niceties, and then in the game does it another way. So, yeah, we're lucky to have him. Mendo says, we lost Chicho last year. We'll lose Mario then. I mean, number 9s never stay for very long, apparently. So, yeah. We do have him under contract next year. We'll see how that goes. Also leaving 5 a.m. Friday. There it is. You might be going together. What? That's awesome. Right? Saki USA says Don will be at the game Saturday. Well, he's got to give out the trophy, right? Marvin Chavez, what about the heavy jersey pull on Bwanga on that dog? So then the ref allowed a Houston counter after. Dude, he was looking at the call a foul, and the minute it became a counter, all of a sudden it's not a foul anymore. It was the weirdest reaction I've seen from a referee. I'm watching him on the play, and it's like, I want to call this. Oh no, I'm not going to call it. And then it goes. It was weird, a weird reaction from the referee in that moment. Oh, Soccer USA says, are we getting a new jersey next season? Yeah, home jersey. It's the cycle. You get a home jersey next year. Don't know about a third jersey. That would be cool. We're one of the few that haven't got one yet. But this one stays next year. This one stays, right? It's got one more year to go. The black jersey changes next year, among other things. So, yeah, merch progress, people. That's what we do. That's just the normal cycle of things. And Bermudez, remember when us fans said when Vela was presented, Carlos Vela as Chingon? There you go. All right, guys. Thank you for the comments. Definitely want to hear more from you guys as we go forward into this episode and talk about Columbus in the final. All right, but before we can do that, you know what we do, right? It's tradition. We go to community news. Tony, you have the floor, my friend.
So with most of LAFC not being able to go, I know it was a quick turnaround. I know money's tight for a lot of people. I had to pretty much give up my Christmas present that I really wanted this year for this is the best way to say it. So, but there will be watch parties for multiple people going on. So let's start that off with Private Public will be at High Tops Los Feliz at 1714 North Vermont Avenue. Crew will be at Dirt Dogs at 2909 Supply Avenue. Expos will be at Distrito 14, 1837 East East First Street, and Black Army will be at XOXO, formerly known as Rudy's, 5226 Pomona Boulevard. And if you were a season ticket holder and were able to get your ticket, they are holding a watch party at Fields LA, 3939 South Figueroa Street. That is all for community news for watch parties. Of course, AIM is still running their get their charity. So if you are able to give back for presents for less fortunate, links in their bio. You can do Amazon or you can drop it off, as well as Expos are still doing their Christmas charity gift giving as well. So those are events. If you are going to the Expos, there's an event there, and then of course that's all.
There we go. I will say the taco place outside of XOXO is not bad. I went there with the family after the game to celebrate, and there were a bunch of Luckies there. Yes, there were. Kind of wild that a bunch of people were out there that were wearing black and gold because that's Atlantic, man. It's not even close to the stadium, but there were. And it was cool. All right. Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. Yeah, that's that tradition. Usually we try to find teams from or artists from the city that we're playing against. In this case, I couldn't find anything that I wanted to promote from Columbus. I will be real, but Ohio's a big state with a lot of people. Some good artists from Akron, some good ones from Cleveland, and not so much Columbus. So I just said, hey, Nine Inch Nails sounds like a good one. Downward Spiral is pretty darn awesome as an album. So you want to run with that, run with that. If you want to talk some songs, I mean, Head Like a Hole is always amazing. I know it's not on that album, but hey, it's Nine Inch Nails, guys. Like, if you can't find a way, I don't know what's wrong with you. Enjoy it, right? It's Nine Inch Nails. That doesn't get you up for something. I don't know, man. What do you think, Bam? You like Nine Inch Nails, right?
They are a good band. They are definitely a good band. When you're having a bit of an angry day, just bust them on and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Get loud. That's what we do. It's perfect. So that's your Black Gold Wine Club minute. All right. I know why you're all here. You want to talk about the final. I want to talk about the final too. So let's do it. MLS Cup 2023 preview. Yes, Columbus is in town. The number 3 seeds are facing each other. Go figure. Of course, they had a few more points than us, which gives them the home field advantage. Yeah, I know. Not the greatest situation. We'd love to play back at home. But hey, this sounds pretty epic that we get to go traveling across the country before a snowstorm and get nuts on the road. That's fine. We are quite literally missing a snowstorm by a day, and the temperatures could drop down into like the 20s by a day. It's great. It'll be nice weather while we're there, so that should be fun. All right, let's go for it. So, game's going to be Saturday, 1 o'clock Pacific time. So, all you travelers, guess what? I guess that's a 4 o'clock kickoff local, right? If you're in the not so great state of Ohio, you're 3 hours ahead. So, yeah, that's rather interesting as the sun's going down.
And
Yes, ma'am.
for all of us on the Eastern Daylight Time, so that's Melbourne, Sydney. It's 8 a.m. Kickoff Sunday morning.
There you go. So, I mean, yeah, and I know Dweez was talking last night how it's like a 6 a.m. kickoff in Japan for him, and we just kind of
that sounds
laughed.
about
It's
right.
like, well, you're watching English Premier League. It's okay. That's what you're used to, right? It's like old pub days.
Yep.
It's okay. We'll find it. Of course, a lot of us are going to be flying red eyes to get there during early mornings. Any old way to get there, including Tony and I, we will definitely be at the game. So if you see us, say hi. I know a lot of you are traveling too, and if you are traveling and you're watching us right now, all 24 of you that I see on the list right now, comment that you're going. We want to hear about it. Tell us what your plans are, man. It's cool. We'll see you out there. There's gonna be a lot of parties. We're taking over that town. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, let's talk about the football though. Coming into it, looking at the form, of course, we're all in good form, playing in a final against each other. They do have a loss in this playoff series. They lost 4-2 to Atlanta. That wasn't a pretty game for them either. If you watched it, again, some guys don't like playing on carpet, just like us. Otherwise, they've had a lot of interesting wins and they've taken some overtime games too to get there, including the last 2 games. Benefited from a red card, of course, to Orlando to get through in that one. It's been a rough way in for them, not an easy way, that's for sure, and a crazy comeback against Cincinnati. So good on them for doing that. But it hasn't been a walk in the park. It hasn't been smooth as opposed to LAFC, who, let's be real about this, it's been smooth. Like, it's been pretty. Games are rough, right? Bend don't break, but no extra time. Nothing card happy. Nobody's walked off with a knock. It's been pretty good for the rest as well to just have normal games and get them over with. And of course, we didn't lose any, so that helps too. Now, how does it match up? I would say this: they score a lot more than us, but we defend better than them. I think that's the big say. On the season, they've got 67 goals. That's some wild stuff. 67 goals. We've scored 54. 21 goal difference for them. They allowed 46. We've allowed 39. So you can see a little bit of the difference there. 58 assists. You can see where they go, where they do. And of course, they're possession side. They want to hold the ball. They want to own the game, where we're playing right into that, right? I mean, I think our tactics, it's a good match. Definitely. Now, head to head, Tony, do you want to jump on the head to head or you want me to keep going with it?
We can keep going with it. I'm
All right.
dealing with some other things right now.
Oh, I know, dude. I know.
Yeah,
Head to head, we hardly ever play these guys. That's the truth. We've played them 4 times in our existence. We're not very familiar, well, outside of knowing some faces. 2018, we beat them 2-0. 2019, we beat them 4-2 on the road, but that was at the old Crew Stadium, which, guys, they're not playing at the old Crew Stadium. I saw some people make that mistake in their booking, and it's like, dude, it's still there, but that ain't it. They're at lower. They're at lower.com field. And then we won 3-0 at home in 2019 again, and 2-0 in 2022, May of 2022. That was on the road. Yeah, that was on the road. So, what does that say? We don't know these guys that well. It can't really equate on the head-to-head because it's been ancient history. And as you know, Columbus, they like to miss the playoffs and then go to the finals after. They go to the finals a lot. This team has one hell of a history and a couple of stars to name, but a lot of appearances. I actually was at the game. They won their first cup because it was down in Carson and actually helped them with the drums and all that. It was some long history there. But yeah, this is a story club. It's an original club. They have established supporters, diehards, some great characters involved in the club. You'll see they have their own culture. They definitely do. They have a beautiful field. Is it us? No. But yeah, I think we're gonna a little bit. Those who are going are gonna get a little bit of introduction. It's okay in the good kind of way. Now, injuries and suspensions. Again, we're benefiting. I don't think they're hurting too bad either, right, Bam?
No, like the one person out, Will Sands, with a crucial ligament tear, which he did back in April. So he's been out since then. So you look at that, it's like, yes, that he's out injured, but he hasn't done much over the finals for him. So they're not really missing anyone.
No. And the other thing that you got to understand is this team can attack you from everywhere. I mean, again, they're not missing anything. We're not missing anything for real. Nobody's really suspended. It's everyone's where they want to be to go into a final. So they all have to be feeling good right now. Of course, their star player is Chucho Hernandez with 20 goals. Christian Ramirez backs him up with 10 as a super sub. Diego Rossi's got 5 in only 15 games. Again, he came in late. Yes, Tony.
Cuco Hernandez.
Why did I say Chucho? Why do I do that? It's Cucho, right? Cucho?
Yeah, Cucho. You combined Chicho and Chicharito, combined.
Chicho on the brain because we love Chicho. I'm sorry, but we do. That's tough. Cucho. And he is a different player, a very different approach to the game, too. Pretty darn impressive. Rossi's got 5 in a very short amount of time. Darlington Nagbe has 4. Go figure on that one. And then a whole bunch down the line, including a Julian Gressel sneaking in there with like 4 goals. Cucho is also their assist leader, 13 assists, with Matan at 12 right behind him. Then Morris, Morera, Yeboah, all getting good numbers. Again, they score a lot, guys. They allow a little more, but they are high powered. Now, when we talk about players to watch, man, I'm going to go to you first. I'm going to throw up some crazy statistics. And everybody talks about Luciano Acosta. I think they missed the mark, right? Yes, we know our guy, Denny Bouanga, but Cucho's stats, man, is insane when you start looking at what he's produced stat-wise. It's nuts. So I'll throw it to you, man. Who's standing out to you? Who are we watching?
For me, the main one we've got to watch is Rossi and Ramirez. 2 players that have played for us, know how we play, know how a lot of our players play, and there are two big ones. Like Rossi, for example, from day one with us, scored our first goal against Seattle. Seeing him back in the MLS for another team hurts. He's too good to be in the MLS to me. He should still be in Europe trying there. He didn't get much of a chance at Fenerbahce. So for me, seeing him back, that's what we're looking for. I said Hernandez, he's a freak. 36 games, 23 goals.
Yeah.
Ramirez, 39 games, 13 goals. You got to look at for them. Then even go look at left back, Amundsen, 32 games, 5 goals. He's there, Hollingshead.
A lot of freedom. They're wing backs because that's really what they are. Sometimes they just play high. They go 3-4-3. Like, it's really interesting to see the freedom that they put in their outside backs because technically they look like wingers at times. And sometimes it looks like a 4-3-3. I mean, they're very Wilfred Nancy has these guys very, very dialed into what he wants in their system, and there is freedom in that system, and there's possession in that system, and you can see it. And also selflessness. As many goals as Juan Hernandez has, Cucho, he's also the third leading assist man in the entire year. Well, goals and assists, he's third in the league in goals and assist mix. Okay. So we already talked about Acosta Boanga. Top scorer was Boanga, second, Cucho. Goals and assists. Yeah, Acosta Boanga tied. Whatevs. Number 3, Cucho, right? Expected goals. Oh, we would think we bent Danny Boanga. No, it's Cucho. 24 expected goals. Okay. Shots per 90, 6.4 shots a game. This dude is all over the place. Expected goals for 90 is at a 0.75, number 1 in the league. Expected goals on targets, 20.9. Yeah. Again, shots per 90, 2.3. He's always the number one on these stats. Expected goals and assists per 90. He's higher than our guy, 1.01. Denny did miss more chances than him, but I'm saying, as much as we worry about all that, Hernandez, he's on the top of these stats. If he was a little more accurate on the year, he could be holding that golden boot. I mean, that's how close this was. We're dealing with a star here. And he hasn't been there very long, and he's taken off. That's the real, right? They have their guy that carries them at times. We have our guys. They can spread the ball out. We can spread the ball out. This is a true matchup of proper playoff sides, and they're here for a reason. They earned it. We earned it. Nobody lucked out and got into this thing. They earned it. They belong there. And I will go with you as well. Tony, your thoughts. Who are you looking for on that side? Who are you most worried about in this game? I know we've had this conversation a lot, but go for it, man.
Well, besides the obvious, of course, of their front line and like their counterattack, I'm actually going to see how their defense holds up against our attacking front three, plus our wing backs, our defender wing backs in Hollingshead and Palacio. So that's going to be my key to watch. Maria Amsuns and Camacho, who were starting in the last game, because that's going to be the actually deciding factor. Because again, we can keep talking about the forwards, the goal scoring, everything, et cetera, but if you haven't noticed, our last games that we've won, yes, we've scored a lot with Vancouver, and then of course we slowly showing down. Defense have been winning it. Last year, our offense was really strong. This year, our defense is a lot stronger, and so it's going to come down to who can shut down their playmakers better.
And if you throw so many bodies up, which there are times when 5 guys are high with these guys, you're open to counter, and we're built for counter. Like, it does play into how we approach the playoff games, at least. If we played how we did last year, they look identical, but that's not where we're approaching the game. They are. They want the ball. They want to throw numbers forward. That's what they're built to do. And we're now designing everything to counter that. It's going to be very interesting to see how they approach this, because they might have to do some change up. Honestly, they might have to look a little bit more cautious in this game. I don't see that from them. This is what they're used to. I think the other guy we need to look at, got to be Darlington Nagbe, the ageless wonder that is, leading another team right to potential glory. It's what he does. Wherever he goes, things get turned around, and he owns it. He's gonna be tough. He knows how to hit people and knows how to get away with it. Right? He knows the dark arts. It's gonna be a war for guys in the midfield. It really will be. This is gonna be tough. And a lot will be won and lost on how we can handle guys like him that can two-way play. And send these guys into transitions, like uncomfortable positions on transition. That does play for something. Now, the last two games. Last game they played a 3-4-2-1. Right? Looks almost like a 4-3-4-3. Right? I mean that's kind of how they run out eventually. Game before that was the legit. They look like a 3-4-3. Right? Rossi, Hernandez, and Matan went high. Right? In the other games, they go a little lower with Rossi and Matan, and you just keep Hernandez up there as a target man. That's pretty much the change. Otherwise, wingbacks flying, looking more like midfielders at times, but can drop back when necessary. Now, you did notice against Cincinnati, those guys don't like pressure. They don't like being pushed. It cost them twice in that game, where we add the pressure to the outsides and they have some struggles. Everyone saw it, right? It's real. It's legit. And so that's what they're going to deal with. Now, lineups, again, Schulte will be in goal. Camacho, Morera, Edmondson are your three center backs. Yeah, if they go three. Nagbe Morris will be controlling the midfield. Yaboa and Farsi will be running like crazy people as their wing backs, midfielders, outside attacking. I mean, again, they're going to be everywhere. Rossi, Matan, and Hernandez is the kind of their trident up top. Sometimes playing all high, sometimes two drop low. But I don't see any big differences. I know Christian Ramirez will probably play as a super sub. It's worked well for them this year to have him come in. It fits him perfectly. It's paid off. Shaberko might come in for Camacho at some point, maybe. Zawadzki might come in for Yaboa. That's what we did last time. And of course, Julian Gressel, another highly talented player in this league who's had a great time when he was over in Atlanta. He's here now. And he does score, and him coming off the bench is pretty darn dangerous. So they have the weapons, guys. They're built for it. Oh, and if you were wondering what the stats were for possession, 63 the last game against Cincinnati on the road. Sounds familiar, right? Sounds very, very familiar. This is what they do. They hold the ball. I'll go over to you, Bam. Thoughts on how this plays out? What do you see from the lineup? Do you see any major changes coming, or is it pretty much locked in as to what they're going to go with?
To be honest, it'd be stupid to make any changes. This is their team. Same with us. Like, this is our team.
Mhm.
What we put out last game will be going into this game. Same with them. Even if a player has a niggling injury, they're not wanting to sit out this. They want to go for it. They've got a couple of months off after this game to recover. It's going to be hard fought. But changes to lineup, I don't see any happening.
No, I don't see it either. Tony, do you see any changes happening, or is this is what they're running with?
I think they probably change. I think Ramirez starts. I think they'll try to, at home, try to wrap it up quickly and just, have their support try to drown us out and have it more pressured on us. That's the only change I could see. I know he's been a super sub, but I feel like that's maybe a game plan that they might use.
Who do you think comes out for him? That would be really hard in the way they set things up.
No, I think it'd be Rossi, Hernandez, and Martinez.
And Matan sits out?
Matan sits out and comes in to finish off the game, or if they need, something. But
should be if they do. Yeah. I could see it, man. Just the dynamic of it all. I could totally see them doing that to shake it up, right? Because you know how we are. We know how we approach the game. The video is there. That every movement these guys are doing, it's been analyzed. So a shakeup would be kind of expected at times, especially with the way we do things. Now, take it to us. And what are we going to do? Is it more of the same? And I'll go back to you, Tony, right away on this. Same lineup as last time? Stand pat? What do you think?
I believe the same lineup. We've been running with that since the beginning of the playoffs. There hasn't been a change. The only change that could be made, and again, this is not questionable, but like could see be good, is Bogus coming in instead of and changing up that lineup. But I do not see a change in lineup. Everyone's again rested.
Yeah.
Everyone's had the same week, and there was no injuries that we've known of. It seems like the boys were walking out to the bus fine. So I don't see any changes except for maybe Bogus.
At Tillman's expense, most likely.
Yeah.
Bam, your thoughts? Are we going to keep it stand pat, or are we going to do something different?
I think we should keep it stand pat. I'd much like to see Bogus come in. I don't see anyone warranting to be sat down for this. If anything, Bogus lately coming off the bench has been amazing, giving that extra bit of speed when we need it, when players get tired. So for me, it's got to be the same lineup.
I'm with you as well. I'd be shocked. These are the guys that got us here. They've earned that place. They've earned that moment to walk out in a cup final for the whole world to see. They've earned this chance. These are the guys to do it. We know who's going to be on the bench for this. No shocker here. You go with what you know. So yeah, I'm with you guys in this. We don't predict things, but and we're never going to, right? Tony, I'm going to go to you though. What do we have to do in this game to get the result we need? What are you expecting from our guys? What do they have to do to get there?
So everyone's already from the recent talks about this game has already counted this out. By the way, they have Columbus winning this. As if you listen to every podcast, every TV show, whatever, they've kind of gave Columbus the win, and they saying we're the underdog. We don't have what it takes. What we have to do is just pretty much, put a monkey wrench in their game plan. If they want to come out the same way Houston is, kind of like, here's the ball, or we attack them really hard. Again, the X factor, the person who I feel is going to give them the hard time and who needs to shine in this game is going to be Oliveira. He is that person. Yes, he missed a lot of opportunity, of course, but he frees up a lot of space for Bouanga, for Vela. As you notice, Bouanga was playing like the decoy to give Vela a little bit more room to play, but Oliveras is always a constant threat on that whatever side he's in. Even if he's in the middle, he's going to be the one that they're going to have to kind of, figure out how to stop, because he is like very inconsistent, and that's kind of dangerous in a game where consistency counts for them.
Yep, for sure. There are holes. I will go over to you, Bam. What do we have to do? What do we have to take advantage of to get the win on the day?
In the absolute simplest layman terms, score more legal goals than them. If you get a chance in front of goal, don't miss. Put it in the back of the net. If you're 20 yards out and you're Bouanga and no one's on you, take a shot. Just pepper the goals. Try and get. If the keeper saves it and you hit it hard enough, they're going to catch it. They're going to parry it away. Chase after that parry away. Get those second balls and just try what you can to put that ball in the net legally.
Yeah, and this is not a proven goalkeeper. Straight up, like he had some moments in the playoffs already, right? Right? Am I wrong in this?
You look at him copped 4 goals against Atlanta. He's only had 9 clean sheets for the whole year. He does concede goals.
9 clean sheets, no more than 3 games won in a row for these guys. They're not a model of consistency. They're not. As much as they look great in the moment, they score a lot of goals, they concede a lot too. They have their ups and downs. We've been way more consistent than them as of late. We've been there before. Some of their guys, a lot of our guys have, but not this version of the crew. So let's see what happens. It's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a battle. I expect goals aplenty. For me to see it work this time, we really need to take advantage of them having a 3 center back system. We really need to take advantage of this and really force our wings out wide. Don't be surprised if Vela plays more as a target central striker instead of pushing that line, just dropping back and let the outsides do the push. Because again, the way they're built, the way they're approaching this game, they're susceptible to that. I expect things to go very wide in this game, and that would be to our advantage if it does. I'll leave it at that. All right. See about 21 comments in the wings. Let's go to it. Let me see. I'm gonna go all the way up here. Oof, there's so many. You guys rock. All right. Oh, Mark's got another watch party. He says Los Tigres to the North End, watch party, Boulevard Market, Whittier Boulevard in Montebello. There you go. Well, good on you. Dave's happy where he's at. 2200 Central East. Yeah, Central Europe time. There you go. Daniel Angel will be there. See you there, man. Ox, I think you're driving. I heard you were driving. I dig it, man. I dig it. Ricardo Andalus. Of course you're there. How many times have we run into each other on a subway or a streetcar, or it's a thing, man. So I'm probably going to see you in transit at some point, especially Portland, right? Dude, Ricardo always goes. He's a diehard forever. Mendo says, I'm also flying out there Friday night, arrive 6 a.m. Saturday. You're a gamer, dude. Check you out. Smalls will be watching from Lopez and Lefties. Good on you, sir. Britt Espinosa says, I think we have been defending like champs. It's been making me feel real super comfortable. I think my set piece PTSD is almost gone. I always worry about that. Roberto Cucho, since they sold Zella Ryan, has been lights out. Could you imagine losing a guy like Zella Ryan and then getting this guy? I mean, good scouting on Columbus's part to have that change work so well. D. Velez says, going. Shout out to my cousin Abe. He booked the flight, hotel right after the game. Yeah, man, it ain't cheap for those of you going. Thank you for your sacrifice. I'll say it on behalf of the club, like straight up. These were not cheap. We've got guys flying into Cincinnati now, Louisville, driving from Chicago. I'm driving from Cincinnati. I'm flying into Cincinnati, and I'm going actually Cleveland. I think Tony's doing the Cincinnati run at some point. But I'm flying in from Cleveland. I know, right? And then heading down. Everybody from everywhere, but just to get there. Mendo says, that was really best defense at Seattle. They played against the Ben's middle versus Houston. Now Columbus with the best striker. You're right. I mean, we've dealt with those edges, but no one has all of it. Thank goodness. We'll see how we do with this one. Sakura says, anybody have a weather report for Columbus on Saturday? I do. The high is going to be in the low 50s, but by kickoff time, we're looking at high 40s, dropping into low 40s. Here's the fun part. We kick into Sunday, and it's going to get real cold. So those heading home, get used to a lot of rain. Even 1.5 inches of rain in one day is possible on Sunday. The rain will be scattered showers while we're playing. As the sun goes down, scattered showers are in the forecast. So it could get wet, but a lot of us will be under the roof during the game because the stadium has this really nice roof setup. Yeah, hide under the awnings, guys, just in case. Is it thunderstorms, lightning storms? That's not in the forecast, just wet. Wet and getting colder. By the time any of you guys stay on Monday, enjoy it. You're getting true winter weather and could be down into the 20s at some point at night. So again, we dodged the bullet on the hard weather, but by Sunday we are going to see some wet stuff and it's going to start getting colder. That's where we're at. Game day, though, I got to be honest, and I've felt this playing games in 50 to 60 degree weather, like it's good, man. You're fine. If you're moving, it's fine. They'll be okay. Lower than 40, not so okay, right? Not as much fun. But no, it's good enough for a game like this. Who was the last opponent we played that utilized 3 defenders? Ooh, that's a tough one. And got a result. I'm thinking Leon, but that didn't go so well, right? Beyond that, I can't think of it. Gotta be honest. Three hard center backs? No, it's been Mostly 4. You probably know more than me on this one. I don't remember. I don't. Roberto Espinosa says, "Do you guys think they'll be able to handle our press?" They had trouble against Cincinnati on the press, that's for sure. I think that's our opening is the counter when we counter and press these guys and keep them deep and prevent their outsiders, their outside wing backs, technically outside midfielders. They don't like it, right? They don't like the pressure. They weren't used to it last game. Eventually they found their way, but it cost them. It did. Roberto Espinosa says Olvera has been a handful for everyone. I think he's going to be trouble again. Again, you now have this guy with openings and a 3-man back. Like, I think he can eat those guys alive. I really do. I'm with you on that. The offense is the problem. It could be a score fest here, 3-3 kind of game. It's potential for that because of the way we're all built. Soccer USA says, would it be okay if Vela went to Man? No, never. Ugh, nah, man. Roberto Espinosa says the whole league thinks our league play is all we had, not realizing they always played a team on 3 days rest or something for months. Now everyone is healthy and rested. Okay, so remember the swagger we had the first third of the season before the crazy schedule destroyed us? Remember how we were wrecking good teams? Good teams were getting wrecked. That team's back, right? The guys that had the swagger then, they now have the swagger now. Again, it worked perfectly for us. Do we get the job done? Yeah, we do. But it's good. And Roberto, you're right. It is nice being underestimated. I will always say this, and Tony, I know you say it too. I hate being the favorite. Don't call me the favorite, especially LAFC. We have a bad time being the favorite. But man, when we're the underdog, we are lights out. So I'll take the underdog tag. Challenger tag works best for this club. Yes, Soccer USA Champions League is on the line for this because somehow New England's allowed to back into CCL. I have no clue. I guess because the fake tournament we played in August took the spots. It's lame. Velez says, if it was to be decided by penalties, who are your kickers? The first 5 to volunteer. Seems pretty straightforward. The guys that have the confidence in their eyes. I don't care how. If it's Hollingshead, let it be Hollingshead. If it's Ilie, let it be Ilie. The guys that say I'm ready are ready, and it might be shocking. It could be Olvera. Don't be surprised if it's Olvera that does the big moment, okay? Because he's ready. He's hungry. You go with the guys that know they're ready. You can see it in their eyes. Some guys they don't fit that part. They don't. Penalty takers. Some aren't great at it. We know who are the guys who are ready for that. So we'll see what happens. I can't pick them out because again, who do I want to see? I mean, yeah, you want to see Vela Boanga have that moment. You want to see Ilie have that moment. That's for sure. Outside of that, Olvera maybe. Who's your 5th? I'd say Hollingshead because the dude never stops doing special things. There's your names. Y'all want to add in on that, guys, or are you good?
I'm good with you. It's whoever steps up and wants to take it. But we're not going to penalties. It's not.
I don't think so either. I don't think this is a penalty kind of game. No. Yes, Tony.
We'll cross that road if it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I'm not. Again, let's just focus on the first 90, and then we'll worry about that if it gets to that.
There it is. You're right, man. Keep it simple. Mendo says, ask for a 5-game winning streak. Now, let's see, you're on a 1 game away from doing an incredible ending of the season. If the boys pull it off, it is incredible. It is after this tough year. We could have crumbled after all we went through, and they didn't do it. That's a character story right there. Mark Lopez, just saved my tickets to my Apple Wallet. Yeah, I guess they're distributing as they go. If you're on there freaking out because you don't have it yet, don't worry. I already heard from a little bird. It's going in stages right now. They're going out in blocks. And so there's so many of us going, I kid you not, that they have to do it that way to make sure that the right people are getting the right tickets. And yeah, quality control from LAFC's side. LAC Wolf says, good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Jose Bernal, who I know is traveling by way of Charlotte. I know, right? Says, I'll see you there Saturday. Me and Google driving from Cleveland Friday, as am I. Cleveland Caravan. I think they come in a little later than me, though. But yes, the Cleveland Caravan. Oh, Mark, you are smart, and I am not. He goes, booked flights before LAFC game, but paid for insurance just in case we had to cancel. At least half the price of flights after. Dude, trust me, that's why I'm going through Cleveland and landing in O'Hare as a layover. I'm taking a prop plane, a Bombardier, man, from O'Hare to Cleveland in the snow, baby. Let's do this. Anything to get to the game, right? Anything. Soccer USA says, what do you guys think Columbus might overlook? I'll be honest, Wilfred Nancy's not going to overlook anything. They're not. They don't really care what we do. I'll put it that way. Mr. Hernandez had a really cool interview with, I think, Jason Davis. I think it's who he was talking to about the way they've approached these playoff games and the way their manager has, and it's very much been on the moment. It's very cerebral rather than watch the video. So overlook, no, they're going to play their game, and they have enough confidence in their game that they believe that they could smoke us with that. They could beat us with their game, and that's it. You adjust to us. We're not adjusting to you. You adjust to us, and that's going to be their approach, and that's going to be our approach too. Is like, was what we got going. Let's do this, and so that's why I think like Clash of the Titans, the owner, the possession team versus the counterattack team. It's just gonna be a wild one. Enjoy the fireworks, everybody. It's gonna be fun. Mendo says their game plan for Saturday. Don't know any SGs or the post meetups. Okay, so I saw a couple pop. Go on the travel chat. There's a travel chat out there. If you want to hit me up offline, please do so. We'll get you on that chat. But there's one out there that we can invite you to where all the details are going to come out for sure. Berto Espinoza says, so happy to see y'all going. Wish I was going, but I'm with you in spirit. Dude, the prices were nuts. I almost didn't go because of it, but yeah, this is kind of special. And under the circumstances of the last few hours, it's even that more special. So yeah. Jose Ortega says, Dale, black and gold. Black and gold, we got this. On Saturday, we become back-to-back champions. And you see the hashtag right there, man. Good on you, dude. Stand your ground. It's fine. We have a right to our opinion. That's for sure. Let's do this. Let's get the job done. I think that gets us to that point where we give our final moments, right? I mean, it's there. It's there. So yes, final thoughts of this episode. Tony, I'm gonna go with you first, man. Go for it, dude.
Final thoughts is for those traveling, be safe, be smart. I'm saying this in the very kindest way. Be smart. We are under a microscope. Don't do anything stupid. Yes, you think it's cool or whatever, but now you're affecting not just yourself, but pretty much what's going to happen to the 32-52 next season. That's why I'm saying this. Cool in the moment, but right now we have to walk on eggshells for a while. Make sure you have a buddy if you're there flying by yourself. Make sure you are in contact with whatever SG you are. Also, be safe, drink responsibly, have fun, enjoy the moment. Again, we don't know if we'll ever have another finals moment because some teams don't even make it to this round, and we've been blessed to make it to a couple different rounds. So enjoy it. As well as I always transfer to BAM for this, and also shout out to St. Louis and LAFC for starting this. Is what, BAM?
Hashtag the struggle is real. Mental health is major for us, for everyone as well. There is so much going on in the world these days with not just what's happening with the 32-52, not just what's happening in personal life, what's happening overseas. It does affect everyone, friends and families, all that kind of stuff. It's okay to not be okay. Reach out to your friends, send them a message, invite them to a watch parties this weekend. Bring them along, sit down, have a coffee, have a beer, have a chat, just go out, have fun with each other. Everyone that's going, as Tony said, be safe. Don't be stupid. Sorry for the language. Don't be a dick. You're representing the 32-52. You're representing the club. You're representing yourself. Joseph?
Well said, sir. Well said. And I will piggyback off of that. You are all ambassadors of the black and gold. You are all ambassadors because we travel like no one has ever traveled before in this league. There will be a lot of us there that do not have tickets but are still making the trip in the hopes that they might get a ticket at the last second, but a lot won't. We're going to have a large population there just watching the game from there to be a part of the whole madness. Be smart. You're dealing with an established supporter group over there. Be respectful. You are outnumbered at the end of the day. Travel as buddies. Look out for each other if you see somebody that's not in the greatest condition, because there's going to be a lot of partying on this trip. Look out for them. Let humanity win the day. Make friends, not enemies on this trip. Trust me, it will pay off. In terms of what Tony was saying in terms of safety and what's been going on in the news the last few hours, straight up, I'm just going to throw it out there. If you go out there, throw the pyro, you're pretty much ending it for us. I'll just say it just like that. We are at a point where right now it's wiser to get through this weekend and celebrate than to make any crazy statements, any major protest in this moment, which pains me to say. Just go there for the football. Go there and sing. Use your voices. That's what we've always been best at. There's a level of security that you've never seen before, and we're going to be going through this. So be smart and keep your head. I think that's what I can say. And staying golden, that's it. Look out for the rest of us in this case. The collective is what we got to look out for this time. Support your club to the fullest, but think about the end game when it's all said and done. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Final words, Tony.
Final words is, of course, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Bam.
Stay golden.
And from me to all of you, of course, safe travels and stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.